So let's have a sources of finance sesh on selling fixed assets. So selling fixed assets is raising cash via the sale of surplus, of excess fixed assets. Remember, fixed assets, fixed is long-term, assets is a thing that you own. So it's long-term things you own. Usually long-term is defined by more than 1 year. So things that you own in the long-term for more than 1 year could be spare machines or capital goods or spare vehicles, okay? Usually it's a long-term source of finance. It's definitely an internal finance because it's coming from inside your business. It's the things that you already own as a business. You're just flogging them off. And it's usually for established businesses because new businesses may not have surplus fixed assets because they're a new business. Pros and cons of selling fixed assets. Number one is it's not a form of debt, so no interest needs to be paid. It's also not a form of equity, so no control is given up. So that's two good things. And number two is that providing you can find a buyer quickly for your fixed assets, for example, the machines you're trying to sell or the vehicles you're trying to sell, well then it's quick cash and it's going to make you more liquid. You're going to have more cash. The cons, number one, you can only play this trick a finite amount of times, a few times, because you can't sell every single fixed asset you have because you'll have no business if you keep selling your fixed assets. You can only sell those surplus, those spare fixed assets. And eventually that'll come to an end. So it's a bit of a one-trick pony move. Number two is there could be different types of risks involved with selling fixed assets. Number one is that you might not be able to find a buyer. So this quick cash argument, well, if you don't find a buyer, it's definitely slow cash, if never cash at all. Number two is that you may not receive the fair value of what the thing is that you're selling, the fixed asset you're selling, because the buyer might know that you're desperate to sell them, and as a consequence, may not give you the fair value, the true value of what it's worth. And thirdly, and finally, these are capital goods. So, for example, a vehicle, it's very likely it's lost value. It has depreciated. And because it's depreciated, you need to be aware of that and be realistic about your expectations for how much cash that you will get in return for selling your fixed assets. I hope that helps, and I'll see you at the next video.